Hey friends, we're going to get started on our mini interactive brag book for our class number 7. I have decided to do a little mini brag book because it's a really quick and easy project, and it's also pretty cool to have something in your handbag that you can show friends or family, or that you can make really quickly and give to somebody as a gift. So I've got everything I need on my desk. I have cut everything and I've labeled all my pieces. So I've got the Halm board on my desk. If you don't have any of this board, you can simply use an old cereal box. I would double it up though so that you get a decent thickness. So I've got everything cut, got all the tools that I need on my desk. I've got my Martin jig. For those of you who don't know, you can head on over to YouTube and you can see on how to use this. They are available from me. I'm not going to use that just yet. I'm going to put it next to me. I've got my scissors. These are used for glue. These are used for fussy cutting, so I'm just going to hang those back up. I've got my notes printed, and I should have ticked all my little boxes because I've cut everything, so I'm just going to get that out the way. And then I have got a couple of glues on my desk. I have got a magic glue, which I like for sticking, and I've got a Tombow mono liquid. I'm not even sure if it's got Tombow in here. I may have replaced it at some stage. I do like these containers, so I'm going to put that to the side. And then I've also got my 2 set pieces of tape. I have got a 12mm 1/2 inch and I've got a 6mm 1/4 inch tape. I'm going to put that to the side. Don't need my pencil. I've got my craft knife, probably won't need it. So I've got a ruler as well, which I will definitely be using. Right, so I've cut them. These are all in reverse order. Okay, so I'm just flipping them over, popping those to the side, and I'm going to get started on prepping my boards. So these are my outer covers that I'm going to prep, and I'm just going to use some 12mm tape. And I am popping the 12mm tape, the 1/2 inch tape, as close to the outside edge as possible. I'm hoping that later on today I'll also have a quick YouTube tutorial up on inches and using inches, just to show you. Inches, I choose to use inches for all those girls who are going, oh, it's in inches. I choose to use inches because your scrapbooking paper generally is 12 by 12, meaning 12 by 12 inches. So it gives a far more accurate, and it's far more easier than to cut 22,45 millimeters. So I'm hopefully going to have a little YouTube video done by the end of today as well, just explaining how to use inches, because they actually are really easy, and you only, number one, have to count to 12. And also maybe count to 8, because we very seldom use 1/16 of an inch. So I mean, everybody can count to 12 and everybody can count to 8. So it's really not that difficult. It's just a case of getting your mind around it. And yeah, once you start using inches, especially for mini albums, you'll understand why we do it. And you'll find it's actually easy. So I'm just going to take my little lift off thingy, great terminology I know, and I'm just going to press the tape down so it makes it a little bit easier for me to apply tape just now. So those are my outer boards done. Here is my piece marked A, and I also want to just work with my piece marked B quickly. So this is that little skinny piece, 3/4 of an inch by 6 inches, so it's basically the same length. And onto this I'm going to use a piece of 3/4 inch tape. If you don't have, just use a 1/2 inch and a 1/4 inch tape together, because a 1/2 and a 1/4 makes 3/4. Right, so that's my tape on the back of my piece marked B. So we're going to get started with assembling. I can remove my labels. I keep my labels. I reuse them. Some of these labels I've been using for like 2-3 months. Right, so let's get started. To make my life easy, I always take, when I've got no joins and tape or whatever, I always take 2 little pieces of tape. I mean, you can see they're really, really small. And I pop one over there, one over there. You might be looking at her going, gosh, she's lost the plot. But you'll see now why I use them. And I'm just switching over to my old ruler. Okay, and what I'm going to do, this is 12 inches across. I'm going to measure down an inch. So on your ruler, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of darker lines, and the 4th line is much darker than the other lines. So I'm going to line my ruler up on the 1/4 inch line, sorry, on the inch line, and I may be off slightly, but I'm not too stressed. Okay, so I'm lining that up. I'm not going to worry too much. And then I am going to remove the tape here. And this is 3/4 of an inch. So it's going to go 3/8 of an inch on either side of the 6. So there's your 5-inch line. I don't know if you can see it. Let me show you quickly. There's your 5-inch line. There's your 5 1/8, 5 1/4, 5 3/8, 5 1/2, 5 5/8, 5 3/4, 5 7/8, and 6. So I'm going to go back 1, 2, 3/8 of the 6-inch line, and I'm going to go 3/8 to the right of the 6-inch. And my 3/4 inch piece should fit in perfectly. So all this thing is doing, oopsie, we could have put a piece of, sorry, I just didn't get it quite straight. We could have put in a piece of thinner board, but because I don't want the edge to be, I don't want the spine to be a solid spine. I want it to be something a little bit different. Okay, so I pop that down, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop tape on either side. It doesn't have to be like seriously close or anything. Okay, so there is my 3/4 inch piece, and I'll put a piece of tape on this side and a piece of tape on that side. Now, this is keeping everything nice and level. I'm going to remove the release paper. It's probably the most stressful thing of the whole part of the whole exercise, is trying to get the tape, release paper off the tape. Okay, and then I suggest you put that straight into the bun, and I'm going to pop a piece on this side. And you're going to put a piece on this side. Now, because I was making this something simple, something really easy that anybody could make, like honestly, a child could do this. Would need a little hand, but they definitely could do this. I didn't have any yep, I've got it off, sorry. I made it so that we didn't have to join any of the base papers. I kept it so that it was a little bit small. Now you'll see I've got a slightly bigger gap there than I have on that side. I'm not too stressed. Remember, I didn't put my ruler 100% straight. So now all I'm going to do is take my ruler off. And I kind of keep this one as one of my older rulers. Just be careful what you clean your rulers with. Okay. And there's the base of my album, or my album starting. Okay. So now I'm going to pop tape. We got an inch top and bottom, but we've only got about ½ an inch to the side. So I'm putting tape around the edge, in line, pretty much in line with my board. I don't go right to the edge because I'm going to chop that off anyway. Okay. I like an inch overlap. It's not imperative. A lot of the other girls only do ½ an inch. I just like the full inch. So, but ½ an inch will work. Okay. So taped all the way around. We are now going to miter these corners, and this is where the miter jig comes in. So I'm using the miter jig number 2. All right, so it's got a smaller piece here, and I'm going to pop it on, and I'm just going to miter through the intersection, or miter the corners, chop them off. If you don't have a miter jig, you can do it the other way, where you take your ruler and you chop it off like that. You must, however, leave a small piece. So it's probably, I don't know, I don't use millimeters these days, but I'll try and measure for you. From the corner to there is about 2 mil, and 2 mil is perfect for this thickness of board. So this is a 1700 micron board, so it's under 2 millimeter, so it's actually absolutely perfect. So that's done. Mitered all my corners, so they've all got that little 2 mil piece. And now, just to make my life a little bit easier, this is the 3rd time I'm making this album, and 3 times I've damaged the outsides, like with rookie errors. One would think after this many years of making, you wouldn't do that. So we've just gone around the edge, and you can see where I've scored. You can see the little mark, and that's just to make our life a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a little zip, and then I'm going to use my board to help me fold. And if you use your board, it kind of pushes it down on the bottom, and it just helps you to get a nice finish. So I'm just using silicone, I think it is, and if you want to, you can just go through and also just run that along the edge. Okay, so you'll have a look and you'll notice that we've got this little fold over here. We don't want that, but we need it. So all we're going to do is I'm going to pull that in, and this one I'm going to push in. Okay, so this one I pulled in, this one from the bottom I pushed in. Have a peek. Same on this side. I'm going to pull that one down, and this one I'm going to push up. And all it's doing is it's making this piece that's running along here go in slightly. So it's no longer, I don't have 2 parallel lines anymore. They're parallel up into the end of the board, and then they take a little dip. And then what I can do, remove my tape and fold in. And I've done both sides, so I'm going to do it on both sides. And that's my outer cover made. Okay, so I'm going to remove that and that, and I'm going to start taping up the inside of my album, ready for my inside piece, which is going to fit here where somehow I have cut it incorrectly, so I shall go back to my drawing board and see what I've cut incorrectly. I'm just going to pause the video for 1 sec. Okay, no harm done. I had obviously transferred the incorrect number. So this is 10 3/4. Your notes will say 10. In fact, this is closer to 10 7/8. And why I have done that, it's so that depending on how big you've made that, it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, but we're going to prep it the same anyway. I'm going to pick up number C first and my 1/2 inch tape. And I'm going to tape around the edges. So right close to the edge, and you'll notice that when I work on the piece, I actually cut the edge with my knife. Well, I cut the tape along the edge with my knife so that I know it's perfectly level and that there's no tape sticking out. We don't want tape sticking off the edge. It's going to give us this gooey mess that we really don't want. Okay, so that's C sorted for now. If you want to, you can sand this, you can do whatever you want. Sanding gives it quite a nice effect. So just pop it at the edge of your board, which you can't see, I don't think. Okay, I'm just on the edge of my board and I'm just sanding very quickly. Using my sanding block. Let's see if I can move the camera just a teeny bit so you can see. Okay, so sanded all the way around the edge. Let's move the camera again. Whoops. There we go. Let's straighten the board. So we've taped all the way around the edge and we've given a light sand. Now we're picking up our board again. And I just want to check something for 1 second. No, it should be fine. Okay, I suddenly had this sneaky suspicion that I'd cut these too wide, but they're not, they're perfect. Okay, so I'm going to take my tape and I'm going to start adding tape to my album. So the very important spots that I'm going to tape are either side of the spine. I'm also going to pop tape all the way along the edge here, and I'm even going over the tape that I've already put in there. And the reason we're doing this is we don't want this to bubble. If we don't put all the tape in there, it's going to, when you fold it, it's going to cause a nasty bubble. I'm then going to put just a couple of pieces of tape. So let's use 3. And I'm going to do the same on this side. So like I said, I've made this album 3 times already. And this is my final time just so that I can check all the measurements and everything because, yeah, it needs to be right. So great, by the time you get to do it, you know that it's 100% correct. All right. So at this stage, it doesn't matter which is up and which is down. But what we are going to do is we're now going to pop our inside cover onto our album. We've already done all this inside work with our tape. So what we're going to do, we're just going to fold back. I like to call them my little zips. They're going to make your life super easy. This one's going to be quite difficult to pull off because they are on top of the middle ones on top of these two side ones. So just take your time and fold back. Okay, so that's prepped. I'm going to do the same on here. I'm going to create my little zips all the way around. I just use my thumbnail to depress it, to like, yeah, to fold it back. Okay, so it's prepped. Now what I'm going to do, if you're very nervous about this, you can pick up your wet glue and you can give yourself a little bit of wet glue, like so, on top of your tape, so it's going to give you a bit of wiggle time. And then I'm going to come in with my inner cover, get it nicely lined up. Okay, so I've got that top piece stuck. My album ain't going nowhere. Then I can pick this up. Because I put the wet glue on as well, it's given me a chance, it gave me a chance to make sure I had it in the right place. So the wet glue's there just for holding on. Can now remove all the tape, release paper, and fold it down. Okay, and my inside of my album is now covered. So my outside is cardstock, the inside is pattern paper. And now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to feel, okay, for where the joins on both sides. And if you want to, you can come in just very, very carefully. Okay, and press and press. And we have now got a soft spine, so you can round it a little bit, like so if you want to. Okay, and I just want to give it a good old press down. Okay, so my outer cover's made. I'm now going to just put this down, and we're going to put a piece of ribbon on before we pop our mats for our outer cover. I just need to pause the video because I put the ribbon in a safe place. It's so safe, I can't remember where I put it. Give me one sec. Okay, found it. So I'm just going to pop those up there so long. Here's my piece of ribbon. I'm not sure how much is here. It could be a meter. I'm not sure. I'm just going to remove that. And then I don't know if you girls know how to sort out your edges. I've said in the notes that you need about 45 centimeters. So that is 30. That is 60. That is 90. So it's just under a meter. Okay, so I want about that much sticking out so we can tie it. Now we'll give you an actual measurement. So I'm going to cut this in half. Oops, I'm using my glue scissors. Okay, so you need 30, 60, 75. I said 3/4 of a meter. Closest, damn it, really. And what I'm going to do is just, I'm not a smoker, so I have a lighter in my craft room so that I can just burn the edges. Okay, so do that before you put it in your album, just so you don't have any accidents. And then what I'm going to do fold this in half. Okay, just going to pick up this little pin that I have here. I've got a pegboard pin. So I've just marked it. And what I am going to do on my board is I'm going to pop this onto my board and I'm going to find sort of the halfway mark. And there it is there. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so 6 inches. And I'm going to pop a piece of tape, not quite on the edge. I'm sort of eyeballing it. Right, there's my tape. And now I can remove it, the release paper. There's my halfway. And there's my tape. I might have a little bit too much ribbon, but I'm okay with that. Okay, I'm just opening the inside to see the correct way. I just want to, often where the, your pieces that you folded in are a little bit thicker. Okay, so folding those like so. I'm going to pick up the mats for the outside cover, and these mats I cut from New Year. I love this paper. I think it's so much fun. And I'm just going to very quickly sand the edges. All Juliet Corbellari's fault. But man, it makes a mess. It always looks nice, but man, it makes a mess. So just give it a good quick sand. Let me move the camera again so you can see. And it's up to you how much of the edge or the top you want to take off of the paper. You could chalk as well. You can just leave it plain too. Okay, so I've done my 2 front pieces. Let's move the camera back because now we're going to attach them. And I like to attach the front covers. Generally, I like to use tape. I just find that it gives a better finish. But honestly, do whatever makes your heart happy. What works for you works for me. But one thing I am going to say though is that please use decent tape. Don't go to China Mall and use their tape, please. It's not great. Your project will fall apart, and then all the hard work and effort that you put into making it, all the supplies that you've used will just go to waste. Right, so my 2 pages are ready, my front and back mat. I'm going to do exactly the same as I did earlier. I'm going to create my little zips. I'm going to do both because this is like boring stuff to do. So while I'm doing the boring stuff, let's do both lots of boring. Okay, so now I'm going to pop it onto my album. I'm going to line my mat up so I've got a nice border. This piece of tape over here runs the full length. Okay, the others will be shorter, so I'm going to stick this one first. So I'm going to pop that there like so. Remove my release paper. Then I'm going to come in with my glue, and I really love this magic glue. This one's in a new package and it's amazing. Definitely one of my new favorite products. I used to love it in the old packaging, but I hated that you couldn't leave the packet thing open on your desk because it would smush out. But this new packaging is amazing. So that one's stuck. Let's do the same with this one. So there's my long piece. And with putting the ribbon underneath the mat, it makes it super easy. Well, it's like reinforces that ribbon, keeps it in place. Right, let's get that again for a while, I don't think. So let's just smush that down. And we got the front cover. So our little album is taking shape. Okay, now we're going to open the inside because we're going to be working inside. I'm going to pop that to the top of my board. And I'm going to pick up my small scoreboard. If I can find it. What do you know? I put it away. How amazing is that? Okay, and we're going to be making the inside flaps for the left hand side first. So starting with D1. Okay, so D1 is a yellow dot or it's the blue stripe. I'm going to use the yellow dot. I'm going to score at 4 and 4 1/4 on the 8.5 inch side. Once I've done that, I'm just going to pop it to the side. Then I'm going to pick up D2. There it is there. Let's just move the label. And I'm going to score at 3 7/8, at 4, and at 4 1/4. Okay, on the 7 7/8 side. Then I'm going to pick up D3. I'm scoring at 1/2 and 5 1/2. And notice that I'm actually pushing this piece of paper up into the scoreboard. I want it to be straight. Then I'm going to turn 90 degrees. I'm going to have to move my label. Okay, 90 degrees. I moved it to the wrong side. And I'm going to score at 1/2 on the 2 inch side. Okay, so that's D3 done. D4 and D5 I don't need to do anything to, so that's page 1 scored and ready. I'm going to put that, well, the left hand side. I'm going to pick up the right hand side. Let's get the scoring done, and we are going to score on E1. We have 3 of them. Just want to move my label. We are going to score, I'm just making sure that I've got, I think I'm going to have it this way, okay. So I'm going to score on E1, I'm going to score at 1/2 inch and at 3 1/2 inches, and I'm going to do that on all 3. I'm trying to think which side I should have. I quite like that side and that side. Kind of like, no, I like that. That does tie them together nicely, but that makes a nice contrast. Okay, so I'm going to score at 1/2 inch and at 3 1/2 inches. The first of these that I made, I did out of just, it was a mock-up. The second one I didn't like the color combo, so that's also why I redid all the videos, which is why I'm playing with the color combos now. Okay, so E1 sorted. This is E2, and we're going to create a little pocket. And I'm thinking we haven't used, I just love the dot. The dot makes me happy. I'm going to use the dot again. I'm going to score at 1/2. And we're scoring at 4 3/4. We're turning 90 degrees. And we're scoring at 1/2 inch. Okay. and then E3. I don't know why I've stuck all these things in the middle. I'm such a crazy girl. We are going to score at 4 on the 8-inch side, and E4 we don't have to do anything to. So I'm putting that away. I'm now going to just pop this away because I'm a good girl. And this is my right hand side all scored and ready to go. Right, let's get taping. So we don't have to do anything with D5 or D4. We're going to pop there. D3 we're going to tape in the half inch section created by the score line. If you want the stripe or whatever paper you're using, just choose the page you want to stick out. I love dots. They make me happy, these little yellow dots. Okay. So we're just going to tape quickly. This one over here, we've got like a little, we've got 2 score lines. Okay. The one score line will kind of fold this in half, and the other score line I've got on this side. So that one is only 1/4 of an inch. You're going to put your 1/4 inch tape in that 1/4 inch score line. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that these all sit correctly, and I'm just going to burnish. Okay, so there's the 1/4 inch one. Okay, there's my 1/4 inch, and here's my 1/8 of an inch, which is here. So just folding. Alright, so there's my 1/8 of an inch. There it is there, it's really thin. There's my 1/4 inch. Okay, so that's ready. And my D1, and also just get the folds nice. And then I'm going to tape, show you how to tape it. So that's my D1, there's my 1/4 inch, okay, to give me a gap, to give me the height. I'm going to flip it over onto the back, and I'm going to take my 1/4 inch tape, 6mm tape, and I'm going to put it around the edge, the left hand side, the right hand side close to the score line, and along the bottom, and that's going to create a space, a pocket for us. Okay, so there's my one score line, there's my other score line. I've got my tape along the bottom and the sides in a U, so I can put that to the side. Then this one, I'm just going to miter a small section at the top, like so, because we're creating a pocket. And then I'm going to use my miter jig. If you don't have a miter jig, you're going to you're going to miter through the corner. I've got a miter jig, so I'm going to use it. The tape is so slippery though, so I don't think I've got a great miter there at all. I'm going to try something different. I'm just going to open a section so that I can line this up properly. So I'm lining the engraved section. Doesn't really help, I don't think, doing that, because the miter jig can't get in there. So let's try a bigger piece, something I haven't done before. I'm just going to line up on this marker through the intersection, and then I'm going to fold and burnish. Okay, that's my pile of left hand side all done. We're going to do the same with the right hand side. So my E1, E2 and E3, sorry, E1, they're 3 pieces. I'm going to choose which side I want to see. In this case, I think I want to see all 3 of these. And I'm going to pop tape in that 1/2 inch section created by the score line. And I'm making sure that it is level with the top. I know this one is just off, so I'm going to clean that section away like so. Just burnish. Now you'll know that if you've attached that, you're going to get that awful little bubble. So what I'm going to do is pick up my little guillotine, and I'm literally going to cut a smidgen, a mil, off each of these 3 pieces, so that just eyeball it. You don't have to measure, just don't cut heaps off. You just literally need to cut a millimeter, a 16th of an inch. There they are, they're the little pieces. We can now fold these. So that's E1 prepped. E2 is another little pocket, almost the same size as the last one, and I still think I'm going to keep the yellow dot upward, kind of will tie them in. So I'm going to put tape in the 1/2 inch section created by the score line. Next, I'm going to just do a small miter from the score line out. And finally, I'm going to miter. I'm going to turn over and miter, just to show you as well that you can do it from the back. I normally take a pencil and just kind of highlight the score line. Fold and burnish. Fold and burnish, and that's E2 done. Just checking. That one is, this one I could take a teensy bit more off, literally a mil. That's a better fit. Okay, so there's E1 and E2 done. E3 is super simple because we're just going to fold it in half and make sure it all lines up. And E4 is just a little tag. Okay, so we finished all our bits, and now we're ready to start attaching. So we're starting off with D1. creating my little tags again because I want to position this. I'm going to position it so that it is kind of equal. I'm also using the pattern to help me keep level. Okay, I think that's good. Not too sure what happened to this little zip. Little sweetheart folded in. Okay, so that's D1 down. Opening up, I'm going to attach, I think I've got this upside down. I'm going to attach this one so that, have I got it upside down? No. I'm going to attach this one so that that piece over there is inside and make sure it fits inside perfectly. So you're going to have to line it up with the edge. Okay, so that's D2 added. I'll show you now how I've added it. So it's got the little piece for a little bit of height, and then it also folds open because we've attached it on that 1/4 inch piece. Right. Next comes D3. So the inside has got the stripe. I'm attaching the little yellow dot inside, lining it up, the pocket up with the edge. And you'll see I only did the one side. Let's move this off here, D3. Okay, once I have the long side stuck, then I can fold these little guys in. Oh, nice and straight. Okay, so we can add photos. There's more than enough space to have photos added in here. D4 and D5, and if I remember correctly, D5 will fit in there, and D4 will be the tag that fits at the back. Okay, so that is the left hand side done. Quick, super quick. Right, let's move over to the right hand side, and we have our pocket, which I'm actually going to attach the pocket first, and I love how the spots kind of line up, they match. So I am going to just make sure those are going up the top there. I'm going to kind of line the pocket up with the base of this. So I'm doing E2 first, and I'm getting it sort of in the center, and I can use this pattern along the bottom. I've got the same pattern here that I've lined up, so I'm using it on this side as well. And the only reason I'm doing the pocket first is that I can then add the little waterfall using the pocket as my level. Okay, so that's E2 added. I think I'm going to put the yellow dot to the back now, because we've got quite a bit of yellow dots. And if I remember correctly, I'm just going to line them up like so. I want them to kind of line up there. Okay, so I'm going to give myself, oh, wrong ruler. I'm going to give myself about 3/8 of an inch. I think 3/8 of an inch is going to be perfect. So if you want to, you can come in with your ruler. It was roughly 3/8 of an inch. Draw a super light line, and I'm going to start with the yellow one. You can start from either side. Take your time on the first one, because it's going to give you your positions for the other two. Okay, next up, I'm going to add in the red one. It's not red, it's like a red grapefruit color, pink grapefruit color. So I'm going to line it up. And finally, I'm coming in with E1, which is my green. These colors make me happy. Not really a green person, but I love this green. It's so pretty. It's like fresh, and I love the little flowers. Okay, and I'm going to move that because I'm coming in with E3 and E4, and these are just little tags, so you can use whichever side you want. I have cut this so that I cut off the floral, but these are going to be my little tags. You can use either side. You can use that side or that side to keep it closed. And your little mini album now, the base of your mini album is complete. All we need to do now is just to embellish it. Seriously cute. Okay. So I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to do some embellishing, and then I will come back and show you what I've done. So I'm back. Your embellishing will depend on what you want to use the album for. If it's a birthday, you'll want to use the rest of this. I don't want to make it a birthday album, so I want to use Enjoy the Little Things. So I'm just going to cut this piece. I'm actually going to pick up my fussy cutting scissors. So I often use a combination. If I've got lots of straight edges to cut, I often use my ruler and craft knife. Oops, didn't cut to the end. That wasn't so smart. I don't think I'm going to keep that little piece of string. Okay, so I've chosen to use that. Enjoy the little things. I also want to use some of these photo mats. Oops, cut that a bit crooked. So I'm just cutting that little white strip out. Not too sure why these knives move. Kind of rotate. I don't know if it's meant to. Okay, so I've just cut the little white strip that's in between the cutting line. Cut those out. And I'm thinking that we need a bit of color, so maybe something like that. Alright, so remember that we have been sanding, so let's continue with our sanding efforts. Although I did forget to do it on the pocket, I should have done it on the top of the pockets. Okay. And I also want to add some onto the screen because it's quite green. So probably let's do one at a bit of an angle. Either that or we can use the blue. See, the yellow looks quite nice. So let's just pop these on with some of my favorite glue. If you like things at an angle, you're welcome to stick at an angle. I'm a straight girl. I'm going to just sand the edges though. Definitely easier to do it at the edge of the desk. Let's stick that one in there. Not sure if I want to stick that on there. I do want to put a little grapefruit, red grapefruit or grapefruit pink on it. I'm thinking that we maybe need something like this on the front. Maybe the green. Okay, do use the green on the front because it's got the green ribbon. I like to build a little bit of interest with some color, and we've got some left over, so let's use what we've got. Remember that blue that I cut incorrectly? I'm picking up my centimeter ruler. Let's cut it to 3 3/4. And this one is 4 3/4, so let's cut it to 5 1/2. It might still be a bit big. Let's trim it down. Remember, I'm winging this as I go along. It's definitely too big. You want it much smaller. So let's cut it down to 5. So once I've settled on the size, I will give you the measurement. I'm going to take this one down a little. Okay, so the blue is 3 3/4 by 5. The grapefruit pink is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, and this one is just 2 7/8 by 4 inches. So I'm just going to prep these quickly. So as I said to you, this is going to be quite a quick project, because we're already just on an hour and we've already made the base and we're already decorating. Right, let's get a little production line going here. Just make sure you've got your album the right way up. Okay, kind of getting that to the one side. If you are not great with getting things done quickly, then I don't suggest you use this glue. I would use then the Tombow. Or double-sided tape. Okay, so that's the front done. And I'm going to, I found this one, I love this paper. I don't know why I didn't use this inside, that's stupid. I'm going to choose one of these because it matches. So I kind of like the, I do like either the Special Moments or Cherished all together. And I'm going to go for the Cherished. So just really quickly cutting so that I can get a decent cut. And I've gone for the Cherished because it's yellow, which is the only one of the base main colors that I haven't used. You could also choose a chippy. And there's space. I'll just grab my, there's space to put a little photo on the front. And I'm going to use tape so that you can pop a picture in behind. So I've taped at the bottom. Okay, little word, so it's ready to put a little photo mat. And if you really want me to do that, I can do that too. Right, let's open up. Here we've got a little photo, and we could use one of these other words. I like this day to remember. So I'm just going to fussy cut this quickly. And I'm cutting right down to the blue. If you haven't seen my fussy cutting video, I've got like a little fussy cutting 101. I'm going to be adding more videos soon. So again, I'm just going to, without taking half the top of my nail polish off, like a little mini soak off. Fortunately, my nail tech never asks. Okay, I'm going to pop a day to remember down there. And again, I'm sticking it with tape because I'm not going to stick down the whole way. I'm only going to stick the bottom half so I can pop a picture in. Something here, and this little together is quite sweet. Oh, it's got a bit too much yellow. Let's look for so much fun and laughter, and I'm actually going to use my ruler and my craft knife. Just wind your fingers, see? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up my black Sharpie. I'm actually going to pick up my white pen. And I'm just going to very quickly, I don't know if you're going to see this, you're not going to see it, so I'm going to revert to my Sharpie. It might be a bit harsh. Just going to do a little black stitching. Maybe a little harsh, the black. think I went a bit crooked with it. So much fun and laughter. But what I'm trying to show you is just that you can use bits and pieces from this range. It doesn't have to be for a birthday. And then to tie it, and we can actually do it on this page as well. I like to do just freehand stitching. It's not difficult. Keep your hands in like steady and in one place, and just do little lines. I always tell my mini album ladies, scrapbooking is not, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's an art form. Okay, so I've done it just on the yellow pages, and then I want to put something here as well. I could use a little blue. Let's use a little blue banner. Also, go and have a look through your stash and see what you've got there. I bet you've got something that you want to use. You've got some words, or you've got a little stamp, or you've got something. There's nothing else that I want to put there for now. These little guys, you can take your leftover pieces as well, and you can easily mat. And I'll show you how I do my mats. That was super lazy. I'm going to cut there, and I'm going to cut there. Got this stuff that I've fussy cut. I could also add that on the album, so not put a photo. So I'm kind of thinking I'm going to pull that cherished off. Just keeping up with my theme of sanded edges. So I always say making the album takes like 5 minutes. Decorating the album a whole nother ball game. I'm wondering if I should just put that. Enjoy the little things. Let's do that, and I'm just going to put it down with a bit of tape. Let's use this tape. I'm actually going to lift this. Thank goodness for oh, and it came off. Never comes off with the tape as well. Okay, I prefer it without that. And then I can take this just drying the undo. And I can pop it there. Ideally this would look better, I'm sure, on a grey, and this black is a bit harsh. But I've started in black. And for videoing purposes, the black stands out, I think, so you can kind of see what I'm doing. And we've got this as well. I've used the stripe, so it kind of matches. And these here, just showing you, we can add some words on those, but these here, you've got these little waterfalls that will easily hold like little 3x3 photos. Pretty cool. And these. Hold everything in place and closed. What have I done with the other one? Can also have that one there. Definitely missing one. Did I just cut it up for something else? I think I did. I'm such a silly Billy. I think it was this, but I'm okay with it. Okay, so there's your little mini album or your little brag book. Quick and easy, decorated, hour and 20 minutes. Ready to just pop some photos in. So enjoy the little things.